Thanks for staying here on News Desk. It's now time for Tech Talk, and Kobe Nkrumah is here basically to find out what's happening in the world of technology. And do you know that the FBI, CIA and NSA have cautioned Americans not to use Huawei phones? Well, Kobe's just telling us and will give us details. Thank you for coming, Kobe.
Thank you for having me.
So why is it, I mean, CIA, that's like one of the biggest investigative bodies in the U.S. The FBI is their Federal Bureau of Investigators, and they are cautioning their citizens not to use Huawei phones. Why?
Yeah. You know, Americans are very paranoid. They're worried about their information going out there, and Huawei wanted to sign a deal with the telcos in America so they could sell their phones, because they're really selling. Elsewhere, Huawei is making a killing with their phones, but then they're not in America, because in America most people buy their phones on contract.
Okay.
So they have to make a deal with the telco so that people can buy. And this deal has been stalled for a long time. And this news comes out that FBI, CIA, and NSA is saying, don't buy these phones. Why shouldn't you buy these phones? Because they're claiming that they could steal your information.
Whoa.
Yes. I mean, the FBI and the CIA and the NSA are claiming that.
And other phones or other phone developers won't do that?
You know, that's the thing. Anybody else could do it. So why are they targeting Huawei? I don't want to speculate, so I wouldn't say anything. But I mean, it begs the question, like, really? But at the end of the day, people still have the choice to buy whatever device they want to buy. So, I mean, the FBI, CIA, NSA can tell you that, hey, a Huawei or a ZTE, actually it's not only Huawei, ZTE is also in the same thing. They're also suffering the same thing from the FBI, CIA, and NSA. So
that's likely to really affect their markets, isn't it?
In America, but they're selling elsewhere. They're outselling America's own Apple in other markets. Okay. So for them,
could it be a way for, you know, them to protect the brand?
Speculate. And
or protect what they produce locally?
Knowing you would say I'm being anti-Apple, so I'm not going to say that. But yes, it could be, and I think it's a good move. I mean, you should support what you produce, you know, in your country. And if Ghana were producing phones, I'm sure we could also say, hey, don't buy phones from a certain company because probably it could steal your information.
Okay. All right, so there's this video I saw of a drone, and this is supposed to be a camera drone, and this woman was super scared. She had never seen anything like that. But now we are hearing that people are flying in drones.
Yes.
Huge drones.
These drones are now flying taxis. So there's a company in China called EHang, and they came out with their drone that goes up to about 1,000 feet in the air, and it carries people, and it's autonomous. So imagine you're going to Circle from here. You just walk out, there's a drone standing there, you sit in it, it takes you up 1,000 feet, whizzes you straight to Circle.
Does it work with this whole AI thing? Because I'm just wondering how, so you don't like approach it like a car. You just sit in and then just key in your location and where you're going.
That's it. With a push of a button, and it takes you there.
Is this something like a sample? Because usually when you see these things, is more futuristic. Developers are hoping that they can do this in future. Is this a sample, or this is something that's really on the market and people are buying?
They're actually working to get these things in Dubai very soon. You know Dubai?
Yes.
I mean,
very daring.
They can do anything.
They got Sapphire, yes.
You know?
No, that was Saudi Arabia rather, not Dubai.
It's still
but it's still the same enclave.
Those people, I mean, they would do anything to have the exclusive when it comes. I mean, these guys have supercars as their police, you know, in their police fleet. So yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be far-fetched for them to have flying taxis, self-flying taxis.
But how does this work, for example? Is it possible to work in Ghana? What does it work with? Internet, Wi-Fi?
In your country where even a self-driving car can't move from point A to point B, you want to bring autonomous drones.
How do they work?
Well, like you fly a drone. It goes up into the sky, and then it knows the destination because of your GPS coordinates, and then it just flies there. But we may have trouble in Ghana. Our flight zones are not, I mean, our airspace is not even well regulated. You have people flying drones anywhere. So you could be in your autonomous flying drone, and then someone's drone just comes to crash in you. And I'm sorry, but the airbag would only save you inside. It won't save you from falling. We need a lot of regulations would have to be put in place for such a thing to take place in Ghana. But yeah, we will get there.
Hopefully we will get there. But it's interesting to know how all these things are happening. Let's talk about the iPhone now and how much it's costing people in India to get the latest version.
I pity Indians who want to use the iPhone because they're paying more than everyone else. Why the Prime Minister says, I am putting import taxes on mobile devices.
On all mobile devices.
Yes. The same way America is trying to drive
I was just going to say,
to buy,
they're using different methods.
So now, an iPhone costs what? $1,700 in India when it costs about, the same thing costs about $1,100 in America. So why would you buy an iPhone in India? They have Micromax, which is, locally manufactured there and everything. So I'm sure they just want to drive people to buy their phones in their country, like what they manufacture. It's not affecting only Apple, it's affecting Samsung and everybody else. But for some of them, they're not feeling the pinch because they have factories in those countries. So it doesn't really affect them. Someone like Samsung, they have factories there, so it doesn't affect them. But it's
seems like there's a war against the iPhone, I don't know.
Well, I think they should do it because the prices are too expensive. Some of these things are costing too much now.
But the phone is doing more than just giving you the ability to receive and make calls.
It doesn't cost them $1,000 to manufacture it. The same way it doesn't cost Samsung $1,000 to manufacture the Note 8.
Maybe it's time for countries to have, innovators and scientists and all these tech people who create mobile phones.
We do. We have them.
Do we have one in Ghana?
Yes, we have people in Ghana who are creating stuff.
To that level?
Trust me, we have very brilliant people in Ghana. The unfortunate part is there's no funding, there's nobody to support them, and everybody's, at the end of the day, the creator is going to be like, oh, it's made in Ghana. Charlie. We don't support our own. I mean, I'm guilty.
I mean, it's not because, I'm not laughing because something to laugh about, but it's because people are just so used to it. I remember when Kantanka released his cars and we went for a test drive. People were just flipping things and say, look, it's not even stuck well. You can see the glue and all that. So there seems to be a problem with our manufacturing systems.
The funding. If the funding is good, I'm sure people could put in more, effort into creating a much more prestigious product. Like, I know there's a group called the Internet of Things group in Ghana, and these boys are doing brilliant things, but they're creating stuff out of what they have, the little things that they have. And if they had proper funding, they had like, all these people who invest into startups and everything, I'm sure they could have put in more effort, gotten hardware from China manufactured there because we don't have factories here, obviously. So we're just waiting for.
Hopefully something good will come out of this as we put the spotlight on technology and how it affects our lives. Thank you very much for bringing us Tech Talk today.